Hey, comic lovers, EMoney here with you, and with me as always is the old man. Alright, so what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about a lot of what we've talked about before. We're going to be talking about what's going on with James Gunn over at Warner Brothers.
He always seems to give us stuff to talk about, doesn't he?
Right. We're also going to be talking about The Flash, set to come out this summer, and it's going to be one last gasp of the DCEU. But is The Flash going to lead into what will be James Gunn's DCU?
That would be smooth, but I'm not counting on it.
We're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. Also, we got something in the mail this week. Nope, it's not a Boxed Heroes, it's something else entirely, and we're going to be talking about it here in just a minute. Also, we're going to be doing our comic book reviews and previews, and then we're going to tell you a little bit about what's going on with EMoney and the Old Man in the coming days and weeks. All right. Old man, did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
No.
It runs in your genes.
You're terrible.
Also, did you know this is Back Issues?
I knew that.
Alright, so before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers in 2023. That's our joint New Year's resolution for the show.
We're doing better. I think the Last of Us reaction video is helping.
Yep.
But still need some help.
Yep, and we're going to be talking more about that in just a little bit here. Okay, so what's the latest on James Gunn? He always seems to be making headlines. Some good, mostly bad, or indifferent, I guess you would say.
I wouldn't say mostly bad, just kind of
controversial, I guess, would be the word.
Worrisome.
Worrisome, okay. All right, so it seems a lot of the planned cameos in the upcoming Flash movie have now been scrapped, as James Gunn's DCU reboot is just around the corner. So, the original plans for the Flash movie, he returns to his own timeline, but with, a little bit of, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, aka what happens in Flashpoint. Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's Supergirl would now be a part of his world, which is how Keaton's Batman was set up to show up in the now canceled Batgirl movie and couple other canceled projects, not to mention a now canceled Crisis on Infinite Earths movie. So all that was set to happen, not happening anymore. So with all the big teases that were set up in the Flash movie, they've now been removed, which arguably makes sense. Because,
yeah, but what's left to look forward to?
Well, DCU, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. That's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah, but not the Flash movie.
Right. We're going to see the Flash movie.
Well, sure, we're going to see it.
Right.
I was looking forward to it, but I don't know if I'm looking forward to it as much now.
I think we're still going to get a couple of appearances of characters, but not in the same way we were before, which, it kind of makes sense because, why would you tease fans with versions of characters that they're never going to see again? So, in a way, it makes sense, although a little disappointing, I guess. So, also, it seems that there's some reports that The Flash is going to set up the new DCU. With Flash, near the end of the movie, he falls out of the time stream, comes tumbling in, and he crashes into the new DCU.
Okay, but the next time we see him, it's going to be a different actor.
Possibly, yes. I would
hope.
With all the controversy happening with Ezra Miller, does James Gunn really want to deal with all that in a future project? I don't know.
I don't want him to.
Right. So that's the rumor or the reports right now that the Flash movie, with all of the the Flashpoint and going through different time streams and all that it will lead into the DCU Chapter 1.
That makes perfect sense if you think anything to do with time travel and
alternate universes
and all that stuff makes sense. And
right.
As that kind of stuff goes, yeah, I get it.
So, time will tell, and we don't have to wait that much longer. The Flash is set to come out this summer, so
when's the first part of the new thing going to hit?
We don't have a set date just yet. I think I think the Superman movie was like sometime in 2026, so it's a bit of a ways off. That one, Superman at least is, but
well, some of us aren't going to live forever. Come on.
Hopefully we'll see some new stuff very soon. Okay, so that is the latest from James Gunn and the Flash movie. Now, on to what came in the mail this week. And like I said, it's not a boxed heroes. So
wasn't even a box.
Nope. So many years ago, the old man and I signed up for a program called Moviepass. Some of you may remember it. Some of you may have heard of it. So basically, what it was is, by the time we signed up, I think there was a different plan before we signed up for it. But by the time we signed up, basically, you pay $10 a month and you get a debit card in the mail, and you pick what movie you want to see, and then you get $10 a month to see any movie you want.
No more than one movie a day.
Right, so, and it has to be a 2D movie, not 3D.
Right, so technically you could see 30 movies in a month, which I don't think we ever did 30, but I know we did 20 a couple of times.
So that was the plan. Now, if you're saying, well, how do they make money? Well, that's a good question, because we knew when we signed up for the plan, it didn't make a lick of sense. But you know what the old man and I did? We rode that wave for all it was worth.
And it was a fun year.
Yep. And we
saw a lot of movies.
I mean, we're the ones who put them out of business pretty much.
We helped. Sorry. Yeah. But, if you lay it out there, we're going to use it.
Right. So after like the first year or so, when they realized like, hey, what the heck are we doing? And they started to, be more restrictive on what movies you can see. And then they started changing the plans up. And I think the monthly fee changed up. And, by then we knew the writing was on the wall. So by the time they started changing things, we got out relatively early. And, we never looked back. And then, a little while later, Moviepass was pretty much defunct. Well, because, the old man and I guess we're gluttons for punishment, because we're going to do it all over again. So the old man and I have signed up to be part of the beta test for Moviepass's new program.
I'm surprised they didn't lose our emails.
Right. So what this new Moviepass is the way we signed up was
still
we had
$10 a month.
Right. And there were like 3 different plans you could sign up for. We went for like the
basic one.
Yeah, bare bones one. And you get
34 points a month. 34
credits, points, whatever you want to call it. And you use points towards your movie tickets. And the matinee movies, which, old man and I always go to matinee movies. We've never gone to a movie in the evening time for as long as I can remember.
It's been a while.
So those only cost 10 points, which means we can get about 3 movies a month. The evening movies cost 15 points a month, which brings it down to 2 movies a month.
We won't be doing that.
Yeah.
We'll get our 3.
Yeah. So, and
I'm curious to see what the prices are of big new, like a Marvel movie when it first lands. I wonder if they're going to be higher.
All right, we'll see. And the points will roll over if you don't use them. So, you can see, 6 movies the next month if you don't use any points. So, we're going to see how this goes. The reviews for the app in the App Store were not promising because a lot of people gave 1-star reviews. So, we'll see how our first outing goes on this. So that's pretty much it. We'll get back with you when we have something to report on the new Moviepass membership. All right, so that is about it for entertainment news. Now let's get into some comic book reviews. All right, so first up, we only have one mention this week, and it is from DC.
It's from the DC Universe Lazarus Planet, and this is Legends Reborn. #1, they're all #1s, they're all one-shots, but there you have it.
All right, so this is a collection of different stories by different writers and artists. So first up, we have one involving Renee Montoya as the Question. She also happens to be Gotham's commissioner at the moment.
Which is kind of an unusual arrangement.
Right. And, she, goes out to find these missing kids when... police red tape only takes her detective so far.
Now, the question, I've only read a few story's the question, and this might be the first or second with Renee. Not a supernatural character.
No. I mean, she's about as supernatural as Batman is. It's all theatrics.
Tech and showmanship.
Mm-hmm. So then you have another story involving Raven and her finding herself in a dark dimension, I guess.
I haven't touched base with her in a while either.
No. Artwork, not so great. I mean, the question story was solid, but Raven, not so much. But, it was okay. Decent story. Then you have another character, next story, called City Boy.
No idea.
I'm not really sure how his powers work. He seems to be a small-time thief. And I think his powers might be psychic or maybe telekinetic, where it's like he, sees an object and he can, see things from that. Kind of like, what was the name of the movie with Christopher Walken? Dead Zone. That was it. Kind of like the Dead Zone is what I was getting from him whenever he touched an object. So he has a pretty interesting story with Nightwing here, and good artwork. So I'm curious. I want to know more about City Boy. See where his story goes. And then finally, we have a story involving Firestorm, and Firestorm had some really good artwork to him. And he fights off this interdimensional demon. I mean, it seems like Firestorm should be like one of the most powerful superheroes in the DC universe.
Sure, but he's never had really well-written stories.
Yeah, I mean, he's
never been interesting.
I mean, he's always been, third-string Justice League member. It's like, why?
I mean, the Fury of Firestorm, he's had multiple series, multiple volumes of his title, but I didn't like any of them.
Yeah, I mean, he needs better writers. Like I said, he's incredibly powerful. All right, so like I said, pretty good, solid artwork throughout, and some good stories. That's why DC Lazarus Planet gets a
3.5 shields after we rounded it up.
3.5 shields rounded up. All right, next up we have our top 3 for this week.
All right, in the number 3 spot, we've got a book. Well, I'm pretty sure we reviewed number 1. And we're pleasantly surprised by it. This one is the number 2 of Scarlett Witch.
Okay. So you remember we talked about her running an emporium, and she has this thing called the Last Door. Basically, anywhere in the world, if someone is on their last leg, have nowhere else to turn to at the lowest point, then somehow they make their way through the door. Well, at the end of the last issue, we get visited by Vision, who apparently is the Vision's daughter, which I don't know how that works, but there it is.
Well, I have that character in my Marvel Strike Force mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
First time I'd ever seen her was in the game, and this is the first time I've ever seen her in a comic book. Not sure where her early appearances are from.
No. I mean, I think there was a mini-series, and Vision number 1 through 12 is when they recapping what they're talking about here. So, check that out if you want to know more about Viv.
I wonder if Vision had his own series, or if that was Vision and Scarlet Witch 1 through 12. Because there was 12 issues to that series.
Yeah, this just says Vision.
We'll look it up.
Well, anyways, so I'm not exactly sure who her mother is, but Wanda seems to speak pretty fondly of her.
Yeah, she acts like she's her stepmom.
Right.
Kinda is.
So, apparently Viv is being haunted in her dreams. And I didn't know that synthezoids had dreams, but apparently they do. And so Wanda, enters into her dreams to help her out, and finds out that she is being haunted by the Dream Queen, who is the daughter of Nightmare.
Oh, Nightmare, old Doctor Strange villain.
Yeah. And, Dream Queen seems pretty confident that she has superior power in this realm. But,
well, it's her realm.
Right. Well, Wanda, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, pick up the issue, but Wanda comes up with a really elegant and fitting way to deal with Dream Queen, and I was very impressed with punishment fits the crime. So she helps out Viv, But we're also left with the mystery, the ongoing mystery as to why Darcy went through Wanda's door, because Darcy is like her assistant or her employee in the Emporium.
And is Darcy supposed to be the Darcy from the MCU?
From like Kat Dennings' character.
Yeah.
I mean, it sure as heck looks like Darcy, so I'm going to say yes.
Anybody knows? Comments.
So what happened, like why is Darcy here? Well, we don't know yet, but we're hopefully going to find out. Excuse me. Scarlett Witch number 2, our number 3 pick for this week, ends up with
3.5 shields. Now this one also, keep in mind, EMoney and the old man look upon backup stories with mild disdain.
Yeah.
They suck. The Storm story, Storm and Scarlet Witch story, as a backup was pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
All right, next up, we have The Flash, 1 Minute War Special, number 1.
All right, so we start off the story with this alien civilization, and they're really like technologically minded, and they want to advance their tech for as much as they can. So they do this experiment, which basically it kind of replicates the accident that turned Barry Allen into the Flash. So when the smoke clears and the guy regains his footing, he finds out he's a speedster. Well, then they replicate the experiment and they basically turn everyone in their civilization, or everyone important in their civilization, into speedsters. And then they start expanding and they start building and they start conquering and spreading their empire. And all of these planets that they conquer, they have, don't have anything that can, compete with an army of speedsters. Yes.
All you scientists out there, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we don't need to bring dinosaurs back. Watch the Jurassic Park movies. Bad idea. Don't want to compete with the T-Rex for my food. No.
They said they're going to bring back the woolly mammoth in the next 4 years.
Why?
People want to see a furry elephant, I guess. So
You show it to me in movies and stuff. You just fake it. I don't really need to see it. For one, you imagine the stuff that leaves behind? Good Lord. Woo!
My classic example of, just because you can doesn't mean you should, is CGI in the prequel movies to both Star Wars and the Hobbit movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could use CGI, yeah, but should you have? No. Okay, moving on.
Well, we sure took a tangent on that one.
Right? Okay, so we kind of leave the story there with the advanced aliens, which they're probably going to be coming back in the near future. Then we go to another story involving a speedster fighting this bad guy who steals a piece of her soul. And then these foot soldiers come along, and these foot soldiers are interested in taking the bad dude, but also they can move as fast as our speedster here. Like, how does that happen? They're probably...
That's not good.
They're probably those aliens we were just talking about. And so the story goes from there, and our young speedster investigates what's going on, and by the end of that story, we find another speedster who, she just wants to find out what they're about and knock them out, and, I guess has to save the bad guy from being kidnapped by aliens. Well, this speedster, he's not so merciful, and I've seen him, but I don't know a whole lot about him, but I know he's pretty brutal. So we leave that story, and then finally, we come to a speedster named... I had looked up his name earlier, now I can't... Surge, that was his name. A speedster by the name of Surge, who is apparently Wally West's son.
Didn't know Wally had a kid.
No. So he's fighting this alien invasion on, like, totally different story. And then he is joined by another young hero by the name of Gold Beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is one part Booster Gold and one part Blue Beetle.
Okay, I can tolerate Blue Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, the old Cord Blue Beetle from Charlton was excellent. Steve Ditko project. They turned him into this guy who's joined with alien technology.
Mm-hmm.
not as keen. But I'm sorry, Booster Gold is nothing but comic relief. I don't need that much comic relief in my comic books. That sounded funny. Comic relief in comic books.
Yeah.
But oh well, I don't need that much silliness.
Well, these two young heroes join up and romance ensues. So find out what happens to them in future issues concerning the 1 Minute War. All right, so Flash number 1, 1 Minute War special ends up at our number 2 spot with
3.5.
3.5 out of 5.
All right, now a book that we get a lot of Batman books, especially any number 1s that come out. And this was a one-shot, so I didn't have a lot of faith in it, but I did pick it up. Turns out I liked it. It's pretty good. Batman Legends of Gotham.
All right, so it starts off with Jason Todd breaking into or sneaking into the Batcave, which seems to be abandoned at the moment. I think Batman is off-world or something like that.
Well, he hasn't been working out of the Batcave for a
Oh,
while.
right, that's true. Yeah, he's living in the brownstone, and the makeshift Batcave is a warehouse somewhere. I guess
he's got multiple makeshift Batcaves.
Yeah. Okay, so the manor is mostly abandoned, but when Red Hood Jason tries to access the Bat computer, he's locked out, first of all, but then he senses movement, and I love how they set this up. Movement, stealthy, I'm not alone. But it's not him, though. If it were him, I wouldn't hear a thing. Well, then the visitor reveals himself, and it's Black Lightning. I mean, of all the people I thought would be stinking around the Batcave, Black Lightning was not on my list. So he's joined up with Katana, who tried to subdue Red Hood for breaking into the Batcave.
So it's a couple of members of the Outsiders.
Apparently so. I guess Batman asked them to look after the place. I mean, obviously, even though, Wayne Manor's been shut down or foreclosed on, whatever you want to call it, I mean, you don't want anyone, breaking into or sneaking into the Batcave.
I don't need people getting in there. I would hope we've gotten all the important stuff out, but evidently not.
No. I mean, Bat computer's still there. I mean, heavily locked and encrypted, but still. So they come up with, they talk a little bit, and they find out that a lot of data concerning metahumans is going to be auctioned off at this really, high-end, ritzy villain auction. You've probably seen them in other things before. Bad guys getting together and, selling off stuff. So they get to a partnership, and they try to get into the auction, and, because Red Hood, he's kind of like, rides the line between hero and villain, that him going there won't, raise too many eyebrows. Well, when he's at the door, he's accosted by Killer Croc. And the two of them seem to have some kind of beef with each other, and they start fighting, and, Croc was actually invited. So he says that he doesn't want Red Hood to be out of his sight. He wants to take care of him later on after he wins the auction, so he kind of drags him in with him, saying he's his +1.
Drags him by the wrist.
Yeah. But while they're in there, they're met up with Bane. And, Red Hood and Bane, have a bit of history. Not just the breaking of the bat part, but more recently, him being the guy who killed Alfred.
Yep.
So
he's never going to get over that.
Yeah.
Never.
In fact, during the Task Force Z story, there was a guy who he thought was Bane, supposed to be Bane's zombie, corpse reanimated with Lazarus resin. He actually threw him off the roof. And he did it for the killing Alfred Pennyworth. But then it turned out that wasn't Bane, so...
I'm thinking the guy probably... It's hard to feel sorry for the guy anyway.
Right. So they go through the auction, and what it is unique and exhaustive cache of metahuman intel gathered by CIA, NSA, FBI, DEO, Argus, Spiral, and certain other parties. Other parties probably meaning Batman.
So every covert kind of good guy organization on the planet. I mean, can you imagine what the information Bats has on how to deal with any rogue Justice League members?
Right.
Any idea what that would be worth?
I mean, just the Justice League alone would
Right.
be invaluable.
A crap ton.
You know, if they have all these other metahumans in the files, yeah. So, someone said, oh yeah, early on, like someone says to Jason, like, do you really want, you know, the key to killing Superman to be in Bane's hands? And you know, that's what convinces him to come aboard. So, you know, Bane starts bidding other people, and and I think the final bid is $100 billion.
$100 billion.
Well, some parties don't want Bane to get away with the information, you know, quite so easily, and his armed escort, they engage with other parties who want to get the information, but Bane apparently seems to make a clean getaway.
Well, Bane is definitely smart.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he planned for all kinds of different conditions.
Mm-hmm. Well, a plan forms after, you know, finding out they're on whose side Jason's really on, because, you know, Jason, he's kind of, you know, like I said, he's on the line. And a plan forms for Black Lightning, Katana, and Jason to get the information back. And it's a pretty well-drawn story, well-told, you know, keeps you guessing as to what's going on. So pretty well done overall. That's why it is our #1 comic for this week, with
4 shields after we rounded it up.
4 shields out of 5. All right, so there's our picks for last week's comic. So what's going on this week, old man?
Alrighty. And our local comic book shop, the Diamond shipment was delayed.
Oh.
I hope it'll be here in time for us to pick up our new books, but we only had 1 book on that shipment, which was It's Only Teenage Wasteland #3. We'll get it eventually, but even if that's late, we're okay.
Okay.
We seem to have fallen into a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Light one week, we get buried the next week. Well, this week we get buried.
Okay.
And it's a heavy Marvel week, which, that's okay. But at any rate, notes of interest. The next issue of Amazing Spider-Man #19 comes out. And one of the variants is just like they did last issue, where they had an Avengers cover with Disney characters, Mickey, Donald, you know, acting dressed up like Avengers. This time, they're doing the Fantastic Four. I do remember Goofy is the Human Torch. I think Mickey is Reed Richards.
Of course. Now, which issue is this?
This is Amazing Spider-Man #19.
So it's Amazing Spider-Man, and they're doing a
Cover.
Disney Fantastic Four mix on a Spider-Man comic book.
And there's nothing on the cover that would lead you to believe it's not the Fantastic Four. Spider-Man's not on the cover. It just says Fantastic Four with, it's kind of a redo of Fantastic Four #1.
Okay.
So I don't know why you do that, but first one sold out like quick.
Yeah.
By like first couple hours the store was open, that variant was gone.
And I think we have 2 of them?
Mm-hmm.
All
Well,
right.
we got one from the Boxed Heroes, and we bought one.
Okay.
Well, we're definitely going to buy one of this one too. But at any rate, also coming out, Joe Fixit #2. We get to find out what's going on with the Kingpin and the Hulk.
I mean, I don't know if they can live up to the satisfaction of that first issue.
Oh, that first issue was awesome.
Right.
And Red Goblin #1 comes out. I'm not a huge fan of the Gold Goblin. Now here we have the Red Goblin, but the cover, I got it just for that cover. It's really, really good looking.
Really?
cover.
Okay.
And Secret Invasion #4 comes out. But
All right. Also, always been good stuff.
Well, it's kind of hard to say that this week at DC it's Bat Week, because pretty much every week is Bat Week for DC.
Pretty much.
But 3 titles that we get from Batman are Batman, Batman the Joker, Batman and Joker the Deadly Duo, and the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, all shipped this week. So it's going to be a good week.
All right. So get all those at your local comic book shop right now. Okay, so that is comic book reviews and previews. Now, let's take a look at what the old men are going to be up to in the coming days and weeks. All right, so what's coming up in the next few days for EMoney and the old man? Well, we have our reaction video to The Last of Us, and that's going to be on The Last of Us, not our reaction video. The Last of Us is going to be on a special night this week. It's going to be on Friday.
Yeah, that's obviously Disney and Marvel, I keep saying Disney, it's an HBO Max show.
Right.
They're obviously dodging the Super Bowl by moving it from Sunday to Friday.
Right.
Friday, which good.
So we're going to be doing our reaction video Friday night, and then we'll probably have it out to you guys on Saturday. So stay tuned for that. And you can watch episodes 1 through 3 reaction videos right now.
1 through 4?
1 through 4, I'm sorry. 1 through 4 right now. And you can get that on our YouTube channel. So then, also because of the Super Bowl, our Whatnot auction, which is usually on Sunday, is going to be on Saturday this week, on a special night.
Yeah, I mean, we're guilty as everybody else. We're going to watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
So we move things around.
And we don't want to have less customers because of the Super Bowl, because they're watching it, or they're tired from watching the Super Bowl and don't want to get on Whatnot. So we're going to do it Saturday. All right, so what do we have going on at our auction this Saturday? Well, we got a couple things. And this is just the stuff we happen to have here in the house. We have to go to the storage unit to get the rest of it. So first up, we have a motorized Twistem from Daredevil, the Ben Affleck version of Daredevil. I know, a lot of people are big fans of the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, right? So we're gonna have that and give you guys. It's kind of small, so I'll give you guys a little close up there. I know one guy, one of our regulars, he's a big Daredevil fan, so he pretty much buys, whatever Daredevil thing we put up. So hopefully he's interested in one of these.
Hopefully he shows up.
Right. We got another guy who buys everything Punisher.
Anything Punisher, we have.
Figure, collectible, die cast, which, sadly we've sold most of our Punisher stuff, so die cast is about all we have.
If you have some Punisher toys, check us out on our email. Let us know if you want to sell them, because we're buying.
Send us some pictures. We're trying to build up our inventory for our pop-up shop in the spring. And, we have a good inventory of comic books, but because we've been selling Whatnot figures, action figures in the off-season, our action figure inventory has dwindled a little bit. It's not...
Needs a little boost.
It's not empty by any means.
Oh, no, we still have a crap ton
Still
of
have plenty of
toys.
stuff, but it's definitely dwindled, and I would like a chance to build that back up. So, if you have some action figures or other, cool, I would say, pop culture related toys that you have that you're looking to sell, let us know about it. Send us an email, send us some pictures, and we might be interested in doing some business with you.
Or comic book collections. We still buy comic book collections.
Like I said, we have a good inventory of comic books, but we never turn down a good deal. All right, so like I said, so this guy, he's interested in all Punisher stuff, and we're going to be bringing some Punisher stuff this week. We have a Punisher Dodge Viper die-cast car. And then, we got a Blade item here. We got from Johnny Lightning, a Blade, number 30, Blade Ford panel delivery van. That's all it says. So, gonna have that. And then finally, we have another Punisher item. We have a Punisher AH-64A Apache.
Helicopter.
Right. So, all that, and like I said, this is just what we had in the house. It's not going to be all die-cast this Saturday.
No, this will probably be all the die-cast we have in the auction.
Right.
And usually we run between 70 and 80 items.
Right. So, we're going to have lots of action figures and maybe one or two oddball things. We have a few things in our inventory that don't fall under die-cast or action figures.
Yeah, we got a couple lunch boxes, stuff like that.
Right. So, come join us this Saturday on a special night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Whatnot. And if you don't know what Whatnot is, download the app and search EMoney and the Old Man and follow us on there.
And we'll be this week will be Saturday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right. Okay, so that's Whatnot. Now, to give you guys a little update on my New Year's resolutions, as I do every week, just to keep me focused and honest, and keep it on the ball.
Is it working?
It is. I actually, as far as weight loss goes, I had a very good week. I am down 5 pounds since last week, which brings the grand total to 25 pounds since December 22nd. That's when I had my weigh-in at my doctor's office. So since December 22nd, I'm down 25 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
And I got more to go. I'm able to squeeze into my Malcolm Reynolds pants now. I couldn't do that at the beginning of the year. So I'm able to squeeze into it. Not sure I'd want to wear it to a convention just yet.
You need to lose more so you're not squeezing into
Right.
them.
You know, I don't want to be like,
No, they don't.
all right, let's walk the convention hall. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's still coming down. As far as my screenplay goes, I actually had some progress this week. I wrote 3 pages, and I'm at a really crucial moment in the story. And, you know, I'll probably, you know, discuss it with the old man this week and, you know, find out where we go from here. All right, so good progress on both of my New Year's resolutions. My third and our joint resolution is to reach 1,000 subscribers in 2023, like we said. So help us reach that goal and be sure to subscribe.
Yep, we definitely need help. We're at your all's mercy.
Right. All right, so that does it for today's show, and we'll see you guys hopefully on our reaction video, but if not, we'll see you on next week's Back Issues. Excelsior.
True believers, send me recommendations for more zombie movies.
Needs to know obscure and hard to find, or
I've seen all the mainstream zombie movies, trust me.
Yeah.
Even when you get into foreign stuff like Train to Busan or Berlin Undead, seen all those, I need something I've never heard of.
help them out.